Peace FM 104.3. Who to me, Taki?
We need to ask ourselves.
Is it not interesting, sir?
1 month no occur you.
No,
why they take you over
I
from
mean,
there?
for
How many years?
See, government accepts the following recommendations of the Constitution Review Commission. A, the Independent Enrollment Commission be mandated to determine and review all the emoluments of all public officers to accord with the job descriptions and prevailing economic conditions. And B, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the single spine salary structure should form part of the institutional structure of the Independent Emoluments Commission. Government is further of the view the emoluments of the members of the Independent Commission should be determined by the Parliament. I don't think the most relevant. But the point I'm making, that I've heard some people who are making the point that, but where is the Independent Commission of Emoluments? And those people who are making the argument, they had 4 years after this.
And they didn't do it.
Some of them are your good friends.
Yes, I hear you. That's a fact. I cannot deny that. What you are saying. And I found out about this government. Apparently, they have differences with some of
that report.
Yes, because there was an implementation committee be also, and apparently, from a purely legal point of view, and I think there's an AG advice on the matter. They have differences with some of the views that were accepted by
the then government.
This white paper. And Constitution, there's nothing wrong with that. They have the right to say that, look, we'll change this or we'll change that. But as some American, some of these challenges I facing is because of the conduct of elements in the political class. The dishonesty, the hypocrisy, the lack of principles.
Including members of parliament.
In fact, that's my favorite arm of government. But perhaps the worst is coming from there.
It's from parliament. Parliament approved it.
By reading this letter, and I want you to make me read it. This letter is dated 16th August 2000.
16th August 2000.
Yes. It's headed Retiring Benefits for Heads of State and or their spouses. His Excellency the President has approved proposals from the Green Street Committee on salaries and emoluments for some specified persons in accordance with Article 71 of the 1992 Constitution. The proposals, which have been endorsed by Parliament and Council of State, include, among other provisions, the following. A, the establishment of an office and payment of an appropriate stipend to the spouses to the spouses of the President and Vice President of the Republic during their tenure of office.
Yeah.
The provision of allowances and the proper upkeep of the spouses of the President and the Vice President, as well as surviving spouses of ex-heads of state. This includes provision of domestic staff, security, and transportation. Allowances in respect of spouses of deceased ex-heads of state are to be paid so long as they remain unmarried. 2. The first and second ladies have accordingly been placed on an appropriate salary scale effective 7 January 1997.
Patrick Cambium.
I mean, baby, you can all.
The first and what?
If you remain unmarried. I hear you. But of course, true. Also, what if take away that privilege?
Yeah.
Paragraph 2.
This anti-gender.
You ask for the repetition.
Yes, under repetition.
The first and second ladies have accordingly been placed on an appropriate scale, a salary scale, effective 7 January 1997. Each beneficiary spouse of an ex-head of state receives the amount of 41,364,716 cedis. That's the old.
Yeah, 4.1 million. Yeah.
That's right. To cover 4,000 BB. But then it was money too. Don't make a mistake.
A lot.
To cover the period 7 January 1997 to March 2000.
Arrest, no.
Yes, exactly. Pursuant to the above, checks have been issued by the Controller and Accountant General to all beneficiaries through the Chief of Staff.
Yeah.
These emoluments will be correspondingly adjusted to reflect any general salary review during the period of payment. To facilitate the payment of these stamp-points, the first and second ladies, together with the surviving spouses, are to submit through the Chief of Staff to the Controller and Accountant General the names of their banks and account numbers. Currently, the Chief of Staff's office has processed and paid the benefits to all the beneficiaries who are normally resident in Ghana. The others are being contacted. Meanwhile, the minister responsible for state protocol is to develop guidelines for the provision of appropriate protocol privileges to be accorded as heads of states and or their spouses. Signed, Nana Atudazi, Chief of Staff.
Date?
August 16th, 2000. And
so 21 years later, we are back to the same issue.
I say because of how we have the politicians themselves have been deficit, they have shown some deficit in honesty when it comes to dealing with these matters. Sometimes selective amnesia not inform the way they behave. They pretend these things have not happened. Now you see here, or use salaries, allowances, stipends, emoluments,
interchangeably.
And then you hear somebody so here the allowance is okay, salary is okay. Okay, Kwame, Office of the President, which is created, is a creature of law. Presidential Office Act. Go and check. Do you see First Lady there?
No.
Do you see Office of First Lady there?
No.
Now we are told, the money is given to the Office of the President. Now, what is best? Check the organization, Office of Government Machinery. Go and check. You will see no reference to Office of the First Lady. It is
under the table.
Yes. Now that does not promote transparency and accountability. I would prefer a situation it elevate Adeno to the level able to be a transparent interrogation of it, an accountable interrogation of it. If we don't want it at all, ask for a zero option. I'm not one of those. I'm in principle for it.
You're for it?
Of course.
Benta.
Oh, Kwame.
Kweku.
Even the philosophy look, let's not be dishonest. One perform some taxes. They do. And the dignity and status of that office, Nankasa, whilst in office and outside office, is to be maintained. In fact, sometimes, look, Kwame, it's unfortunate that all human beings are not perfect, and you never can tell in which instances. But it has its own preventive antidote relative to corruption. It's also the time in Africa, in your presidents, I want to exit.
Yeah.
So to respect presidential timelines or time limits, it's all captured in almost all the reports from Green Street to Chinonhesi. Different times they articulate it in a clearer way. But there are good reasons, philosophically and in terms of their history, for why this thing is done. If it's not abused, there should be no difficulty. But if you are doing it, also be honest about it. In fact, it should be in the open. It's in our parliament, so that we can all assess. In fact, committees recommend people say their report should be published as public record. On your joy there, you run around intercepting copies.
Yeah, so why are we not publishing it?
Yes. So even the last committee, 2016 committee, yes, it's there. It says publish these things, publish them. Well, from assembly press. No one print. No one country there. It's there. Eh? On what I say the PEC, that is Presidential
Emoluments Committee.
Reports and approvals should be published and communicated to all implementing agencies and beneficiaries, as well as the public. It's important. About transparency.
Yeah.
Nyamana, this discussion, and you will get some politicians to go out and twist and turn what is in the report, Kwame.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, they think they are gaining some mileage. They themselves subsequently become victims of their own noise. been no see 2017 January 5th. The whole parliament had to reconvene to approve a motion for recession, so that an outgoing president will at least
benefit from
it.
Asema former President Mahama Kane seems to be true. That we have short memories, don't we?
I mean,
Peace one.
Peace FM 104.3. Who to me, Taki?